Hey guys, today we are gathered together to talk about the CD format. It's still here. It's new CDs are coming out all the time. I buy them all the time. But anyway, today it's really about, well, CDs and the Leak CD transport. It's the matching piece to the A130 integrated amp I did a few months ago. It would have been nice to have them at the same time, but that didn't work out. But here we are, and I have it. So anyway, I think it's pretty cool. But let's just talk a little bit about CDs, because they're not going away. They're still here. I buy new music all the time on that format. I have thousands of CDs. I'm a fan. I like analog. I prefer vinyl in many ways, but I straddle both, analog and digital. But when you think about it, well, I assume, I'm getting ahead of myself, I assume that anybody that's going to buy a CD transport probably already owns a large CD collection. Large. Many hundreds? Thousands? Yeah, because if you have 50 CDs, it doesn't really make sense. But so if you have a CD collection, you're a candidate for a dedicated CD transport. The Leak CD transport is just a transport. It's not a CD player. It doesn't have a built-in digital to analog converter. So you have to use it with a DAC, a separate DAC, or with an integrated amp or something that has a built-in DAC, like the Leak A130. So, but anyway, I'm thinking about where the CD is right now, and let's say the history of the format, right? Well, people are dumping their CDs all the time, right? They say, oh, I don't have room, I got to get rid of these things. They sell them off, or they put them on eBay, or they just dump them in the garbage because they've either ripped them and they're now just listening to the files, or they don't want them anymore. Good riddance to CDs, they say. But you know what that means? Buying used CDs has never been better. They're really, really cheap. So you can now amass a large CD collection by buying used ones. It's kind of like what happened, I guess in the 90s when people started dumping their LPs to buy CDs, or, dumping their turntables and buying CD players and CDs. It's kind of like a mirror image of that. So yeah, before they were dumping their LPs to buy CDs, and now they're dumping their CDs and some of them to buy LPs. It's crazy. It's weird. It's all mixed up. But in any case, the Leak CD transport is a very appealing piece of machinery. First of all, it feels really solid. I love the walnut case. So by the way, it's sold with or without the walnut case. So the price without the walnut is $695, which makes it a pretty affordable transport. And with the walnut, it's $899. So that's a pretty steep upcharge, but I think it's gorgeous. So if you're into the way things look and feel, probably should splurge and get the $899 version. But anyway, it's a slot. Obviously, it's a slot loading mechanism. Feels really secure. Feels solid. The buttons, everything kind of works as intended. It's a straightforward machine. The back panel is pretty straightforward. It's got an optical output and a coax output, and that's all she wrote. It would have been nice if it had a balanced XLR EBU digital output, but it doesn't. I don't think that's really a deal breaker. The remote, nicely done, very clean, easy to use. Everything about it is pretty straight ahead. Although, there's one little snag. I don't think it really matters, but to many people. But it does have an input to play, USB drives. You put a bunch of files on a USB drive and you can plug it into the front panel, and there you go. Well, maybe you can, but I couldn't. I loaded up a USB drive with files, put it in there, and I just got kind of stuck in a menu or something. I couldn't get it to play. I did read the manual. If you're talking to your screen now, Steve, read the manual. I read the manual, never got music out of the drive. It's okay. It's called the CD transport. That's what I play, CDs. And for that, total no-brainer. Stick the disc in the slot, hit play, and away you go. So when, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. If you buy it from Music Direct, you get free shipping in the United States and also a 60-day satisfaction guarantee. So I have two tech details. I'm going to put up complete specs right now, but I have two things I should mention. Is it has a temperature compensated crystal oscillator clock. That sounds like it's doing something important. And it's also, the entire chassis is electromagnetically shielded. So again, nice. For all of my listening sessions, I was using the leak hooked up directly to my Denafreps Terminator. It's just a plain Terminator, not Terminator Plus. Anyway, so I had that, and I was listening to that, and then I pulled out my Oppo UDP-203 Blu-ray player, and then used that as a CD transport and did some comparisons. And what I can tell you is, well, the leak eked out a better, more expansive soundstage a bit. Maybe the dynamics opened up a bit. The bass was a little grippier. So no huge differences, because the Oppo is actually pretty good. So that's what I can tell you. Now, I did also compare it to my J's Audio CDT transport. Now that's like a $2,400 or $2,500 transport. That one was much better than the Oppo or the leak. I love this record. I mean, it's jazzy, it's got some little funk aspect to it, but he plays his ass off on guitar. And it's just, I just leave it on repeat. It's one of those kind of CDs. I just leave it on all the time, and I'm just cycling through it because it just flows. There's only one vocal track. It's great. And I talked about Tommy before, and actually some of his other recordings are even better than this, but it seems like most of them are out of print or really hard to get. So anyway, this is the one I got. I'll probably buy one or two more CDs of it. Maybe an LP. But anyway, this record, if you're adventurous about guitarists, you got to check this guy out. And I know he's a super famous skateboarder guy, but I don't know anything about skateboarding. I know about music, and this guy is special. So speaking of special, now I was always a big Doors fan. And this record, when it came out, Soft Parade, you know, it seemed to cross a line. You know, it wasn't what fans wanted from the Doors. It had strings, it had horns and brass and these arrangements. It kind of seemed wrong. Like, just let the Doors be the Doors. Who needs all that other stuff, right? But now with the passage of time, I kind of like this record. I like the production. John Densmore's drumming is really, really good on this record. And Morrison's just, hey, you cannot petition the Lord with prayer. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, you know. So if you're a Doors fan, but somehow overlooked this one, give it a shot. Be open-minded. The strings, the horns, the brass, I get it. But anyway, it feels like they were stretching. They wanted to do something new, and they did. And then they went back to being to Morrison Hotel, and they were more like the Doors of before. So it's interesting, of a career that didn't last that long, 4 years, 3 or 4 years while Jim Morrison was alive. They packed in a lot of music. And like I say, if you missed this one, you should check it out. Back to more current music. The Alabama Shakes, their first record. I don't think you can actually see anything on this. But anyway, wow. When I first heard it, I was in. I was like, I want that record, or CD in this case. I should have put the LP, but anyway, I got this. And yeah, Brittany Howard's vocals. Speaking of vocals, man, she is just tearing it up. The band is like the ultimate bar band with this great female singer. This record holds up really, really well. I know she went solo, and her solo record sounds like she's floundering to me. She's still got the killer voice. Maybe I should get the follow-up. This is the first album, and then there's another one, and then there's no more, as far as I know. But anyway, yes, I was playing the Alabama Shakes, nice and loud, and totally digging it. Now, I have to say, this is not a great recording. It doesn't sound good, but the music carries the day, and that's, as they say, that's what this is all about. It is all about the music. So yeah, if you have a lot of CDs and you're using some old funky CD player as a transport and you have a DAC, 'cause I'm sure most of you digital people out there are using DACs, right? So you're using a funky old CD player. Maybe it's time. It's time for you to think about getting a bona fide CD transport. Make a commitment to the future of CD in your life. That's it. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like what I do, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And the other thing you could check out is my Patreon, which can be found at patreon.com/audiophiliac, and I will link to that below. Now, I usually talk about the playlist, but I just noticed that the video interview I did with Jana Dedegan, she used to work for Stereophile, make videos for them. She's been on her own for over a year. I went to her apartment in Queens. We made this amazing video. And I don't think it looks all that good, but the content is really good. It's a deep dive into the story of this young woman who wanted to be in the audio business in some form or another. And she worked in a high-end audio shop in New York City, and then she left that to work for Stereophile and make videos. And we basically look back on her career. And since that video was made over a year ago, she's gone far as a freelance videographer, and she's got a great YouTube channel. I'll link to it below. So anyway, I'm really proud of that video, that interview with her, and it just hit 100,000 views. That's why I'm bringing it up. So anyway, that's cool. And I will link to that. I'll put it right over there. What else? Well, I got interviews with everybody else. You already know all those other people. And then there's the store where Jana worked briefly, Stereo Exchange, and I interviewed the owner of Stereo Exchange, David Wasserman, a year or so ago, and I think it was a really fun interview, and I'll link to that right over there. And I have these playlists. Now, there's playlists of lots of interviews, but there's also playlists for headphone reviews and speaker reviews and music reviews and electronics reviews, all kinds of good stuff here on the Audiophiliac Daily Show. So now I can say, I think my work here is at last complete. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I really mean it, but I do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.